Okay, let's move along to the next topic. And Senshiro, Uh, I'm going to talk about that. I, you know, I'll let you know. I don't know who my MVP pick is yet. For me, it's way too early to tell. I I like SGA. I just don't think he's MVP this year. I think that his time to win MVP was last year. I also don't think it's Jokic either, not with the way that their team played. I think that OKC had a chance to win the NBA Cup and they should have taken that game. I think they should have been I think they should have figured out how to win that game and they didn't and they couldn't. Um And SGA, like I said, I he played like shit in FIBA. I don't trust him as MVP, not yet, not yet. I like him and I like his game. I think he plays on both sides of the floor, but I'm just not sure about him as MVP. I'm not sure about MVP yet. I like Giannis for MVP. I love the way that he's turning around the Bucks season with Doc Rivers. I love their like joint leadership. It's just incredible. Honestly, I'm rooting for Giannis, even though I find him to be a very low skill player who also bum rushes the lane and charge and carries and travels. Even with all of that, I love his work ethic and how hard he plays and how he shows up for his team every night. His willingness to compete and to always fight to win is very impressive to me. He's also scaled back on his three-point shooting this year, which has also been incredibly impressive to me. He's not just jacking up threes for analytics, he's playing the game inside out in order to, you know, truly win games and play smart. So I love Giannis for MVP right now. But again, it's a little too early and I want to reserve I want to reserve my judgment until we get a little bit closer to the end. So, guys, moving along to our last topic of the night. I don't know if you guys caught this. I'm sure you did. It was a big, I think, trending topic last week. But, it was right around Christmas. There was a lot of chatter about Klay Thompson snubbing Steph Curry. I don't think he was snubbed at all, in my opinion. And I wanted to make sure that I address this with you guys on Sports Tea because we've never talked about who we actually believe the best shooters were. In the league's history of the sport, we haven't addressed that on this channel yet. It's been reported that Klay Thompson said Reggie Miller was the greatest shooter to ever shoot it. That's that's been reported, right? So this is the report here. I'm going to read some of this to you. But yeah, Klay Thompson essentially is saying that Reggie Miller was the greatest shooter to ever shoot it. And he made an Instagram post giving Reggie Miller his flowers after he passed Reggie on the all time three pointers made list. So here's what he had to say. One of my favorite memories along this journey was working out for the New York Knicks in June 2011, and then general manager Donnie Walsh told me how much I reminded him of Reggie. That meant the world to me and inspired me to never stop shooting. Salute to the greatest to ever shoot it. Thanks for the blueprint, OG. Okay. So those comments seem very clear. It doesn't seem like anything to actually clarify. He said what he said. And then all of a sudden, Clay is getting called out and it becomes a big story. He's getting called out on social media for supposedly snubbing Steph Curry. And then he goes on to clarify comments that don't seem to be needing clarification. And he replies to a comment in Instagram saying, "We love you in the Bay. Steph's the greatest shooter of all times. You know that, bruh, bruh." And then Klay Thompson replies to this comment saying, My man, let me clarify. I wrote this caption with my childhood in mind. And at the time, Reggie was the standard for off guards and off ball movement along with shot making. We all know 30 is the GOAT shooter. Interesting. I really don't know how I feel about that. I don't think that this was anything to respond to at all. I think that Klay Thompson is a splash brother to Steph Curry. I think that he was a longtime teammate of his. I think that they made history together. And my take on the greatest shooter ever is that no one from this era can be the greatest player ever, let alone the greatest shooter ever, or the greatest dribbler ever, or the greatest passer ever. It makes no sense to me that if the league is less physical and if the league is less competitive, how anyone today could be considered the best of anything. It's actually laughable. Is Steph Curry quite possibly the greatest player of this generation? Yes. And is he the greatest shooter in today's league? Perhaps he is. I can accept that title for Steph being the greatest shooter in today's league, but not all time. Absolutely not. Especially not when he played like complete crap in 2016, just because the Cavs were allowed to play pressure defense. Reggie Miller doesn't hold a title, and I'm not sure I would call him the greatest shooter ever either. But I do trust him with the ball in the fourth quarter over Steph Curry and anyone else that plays today. But what do you guys think? Who is the greatest shooter of all time? Who is it? I'll read some comments and then I will open up the phone lines. Guys, some ground rules for the phones. And I want to make sure that I manage them properly and that you guys all have a good experience. When someone's talking to me on the phone, try not to call in. It's we want to respect all of the callers. We want to make sure that they have their time for their voice to be heard. And, constantly beeping in while someone else is talking is not the most respectful. And sometimes I know why we do that. We're doing it to try to make sure we can get through. But I just think it's a better experience for folks to be able to chat with us and, for their voice to be heard uninterrupted. Okay. So, guys, I have time for two phone calls tonight. Let's try to keep them brief. Okay. So share your take in about 2 minutes or less. Um, and let's have some fun. Okay. Here's the number. I'll read some comments while we continue to wait for a phone call. I am going to make sure that my phone is connected to the sound, and then we should be ready to rock and roll. Yep. Okay. I love Ray Allen as a shooter. Right hand cam, so nice to hear from you and to see you. Welcome. Caller from Arkansas. Talk to me. Nice. Thank you for calling Sports Tea.
What's up? What's up? Nice show.
Thank you so
Uh,
much.
um, I don't think Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. He's not really clutch. And in championship games, Kevin Durant and what's the other guy who played defense against LeBron? He outplays Steph. Reggie Miller is clutch, and I can't take that away from him just because he didn't win championships. Everybody's not going to win the championship. That's why it's respectful for those who do, I feel.
Yeah.
But Steph Curry, go ahead.
No, I love your take so far. I think people are quick to have recency bias. and to be these prisoners of the moment where just because the greatest shooter right now is Steph Curry, and even that could be debatable, we want to crown him and we want to anoint him an all-time great shooter or the greatest all-time when we're not even considering the past greats and legends in this game.
Yeah, because even though Richard Hamilton didn't shoot threes, he was a very good off-ball shooter. He could move without the ball and he could shoot. Then you have guys like Chris Mullin, you have Larry Bird. It ain't that Larry Bird couldn't shoot the three. It still doesn't make any sense that these guys shoot as many threes. It's like, bruh, even when I was playing basketball and I never played college, I played more like Kobe Bryant, far as I use every spot of the court except for really 18-foot 2-point shot. Because I was like, if I'm gonna be this far out, let me shoot a three, and that's what I would do. And my games are, even if I'm playing pickup, it was you go from ones and twos when you're playing pickup ball, but when you're in organized ball, it's twos and threes. So I would utilize the three. The 3-point shot is just a shot that I think you should utilize to open up your mid-range game. And if Steph Curry did that, he would probably be a whole lot better. And I'm not saying he doesn't use a mid-range game, but he's 3-pointer layups. And then most of these guys, they can't even dunk. Like, that is embarrassing.
Very embarrassing. Very,
Like,
very
I don't.
embarrassing.
Well, it's like a lot of these guys that brag on these players, they don't know the history of basketball. And then the players that are in the game today, they don't even know the history. That's embarrassing. Like, you play this sport, and basketball is the only sport that I know that disrespects their past.
The
I don't know
only
why.
one.
Well, let me take that back. Clutch Sports is the reason they're doing it. And it's wrong. And it's wrong that Clutch Sports hasn't been on an investigation. To me, they ruined the NBA along with LeBron James. I hate talking about him. I wish a lot of people would stop talking about him and start talking about the other players, even though these algorithms bring him up a lot. Because
Absolutely.
people like you all are doing good by what you do by challenging the lies. But when people start ignoring LeBron, this will change the NBA. I was the one that wrote that thing that said trade De'Aaron Fox and let Malik Monk cook.
Mm. I mean,
Because I'm happy that there's like 5 Arkansans in the NBA, but it's just that the NBA sucks, so I don't really watch it. I watch stuff like this. I watch Man Down, Your Sports Show. I watch Mel when he's on, if I can. Uh, Dreamers Pro. I watch Uncommon Sense. I watch a lot of that stuff
yeah.
just to get my updates on the NBA. But it's like, it's sad that we haven't moved past LeBron and Steph Curry. Like, they suck right now. Not that individually, well, LeBron individually, but it's like, move past these guys and let's let these other guys cook. Because New York, they're coming. Towns, I know a lot of people were sleeping on him. It's just he needs to be with the right coach that was going to push him. And now he's with Thibodeau. I think that's who in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing defense because if you go back and look at him in Kentucky, when he was with Kentucky, the coach made him play defense. And they won championship. So it's it's time to move on past Steph Curry. He's a great shooter. That's what he is. But is he the greatest ever? Not to me.
I agree
He's
with
not even
you.
40. Yeah,
He's
he's
not the greatest shooter in my opinion. We're aligned on that, and I want to thank you so much for calling. Jeffrey, right?
Jamel.
Jamel, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you say my name wrong sometimes a lot because it's spelled Jamal.
Wait,
I'm Muslim and it's Arabic.
so
It's Arabic.
Jamail.
Yeah, but it's an Arabic name. It's just spelled that way in English because my parents became Islamic right before we were born. So
Got
the
it.
spelling in a lot of these names are kind of messed up. But,
Well, I'm so sorry about
but
that. I don't want to butcher your name, and I do appreciate you
oh no, you
correcting
don't
me.
butcher it. Everybody do that.
Well,
The
I
spelling
want to
is
get it
what it
right.
is.
I want to get it
Yeah,
right. So, Jamail, thank you so much for calling in tonight. I really appreciate you. Great call, great takes, and happy New Year to you. I hope you're starting the year off
Happy New
right.
Year.
Okay.
I am.
All
Thank you.
righty.
Bye.
Bye bye. Okay, guys, I'm going to I have time for one more call. Um, and we're going to end the stream with this one caller.
Hello.
Hey, right hand Cam, thanks for calling in to Sports Tea. Talk to me nice.
Good morning. Good morning. So, what do we have this morning?
So this morning we talked about the Cavs versus the Lakers, the New York Knicks, De'Aaron Fox, and the trade announcement surrounding him. And right now we're talking about the greatest shooter ever. And who do you think that person is of all time? Who is the best shooter ever in a minute or less?
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen.
Ray. Ray
Okay.
Allen.
The chat is on fire about Ray Allen. So I love it. And why do you think that Ray Allen is the greatest shooter ever?
Why?
Yes.
Because he saved LeBron. He saved LeBron so
Okay.
many times. Not only that, but come on, to me, it's Allen. It's between Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, and Curry. Those top three. Those are my top three. Period.
Okay.
And if if the ball was in if the ball was on the line, if the game was on the line, I would give it to Allen all day.
Okay.
But yeah, to say Curry isn't a great shooter, that's a lie. He is one of the greatest shooters,
Yes, I
one of
agree.
many.
I think that Steph Curry is probably the greatest shooter in today's league that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot and I will not call him the greatest shooter of all time because there's just not he did not play in a competitive league. In my opinion,
He did not.
he didn't play in a defensive league. And then when we saw him crumble in 2016 because the Cavaliers they were allowed to play physical defense, that was very disappointing for me. Has Steph improved since 2016 as far as being able to handle physical defense, more of that? Yes, he has. Am I proud of him for that? Yes, I am. But I I mean, he wasn't getting clotheslined down the court and making these threes. So I just can't call him the greatest shooter ever. I do think that Ray Allen is a better shooter than he is, for sure.
And honestly, I do agree. I do agree with that as well. Cause I'm just like, man, like, has Curry improved on his defense? Somewhat. He's not the best defender ever, but he has improved a little bit. His strength is there as well.
Just
And
being able to
also,
play through the physical defense to me is something that, I want to congratulate him for because, like I said, he could not play through physical defense. If people got physical with him, he couldn't handle it.
and I was just going to say, if Curry was if Curry was born like if Curry was I can't even talk. If Curry was playing in the '90s, he probably wouldn't make it. He probably would average probably like 15-9 and no 15-8.
hmm I can totally see that.
Yep. He probably would average 15-8, not this 30 and 28, 29, nothing around there.
The '90s was way too physical to me, and I think the peak of that era was '90s. Period.
The 90s was just so, oh my gosh, it was just such an incredible brand of basketball. It was just the perfect blend of physicality and athleticism and skill on display. So,
Hmm. Well, you have a great morning,
thank you so
and
much,
I'll
Right Hand
continue.
Cam, for calling in.
You're welcome, and I'll be continuing to watch. So you have a great morning, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you, Right Hand Cam. Thanks for also being a member. Have a good night, okay? Well, a good
Oh,
morning,
you're
rest of your
welcome.
day. Okay, bye bye.
Thank you. All right, bye.
Okay, let's read some super chats. Salute to you, Tony Jones, my man, and 1,000 grand. Thank you so much for the 4.99 super chat. Rich Paul, LeBron, and Clutch have destroyed the integrity of the game and what it represents, totally corrupting players and the game. I couldn't agree more. The corruption, the collusion, the abuse of power just because you have it has been absolutely disgusting, a complete and total disgrace to the National Basketball Association. So, I really appreciate you guys for being here tonight. I know got started late, but yeah, it was really fun for me to produce this show and to talk about great basketball that has been on display. I love the Knicks, as you can see on my wall. Uh, they're playing great. 9 games won in a row. I try not to brag too much because anything can happen, right? But like I said, I'm keeping my fingers and toes crossed that they're going to just continue to play some excellent basketball. Um, but yeah, thank you guys so much for everything. I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Uh, And yeah, like I said, I just want to create good vibes and have a really great time with you guys. So um, I will see you later this evening. I might also go live midday, so be on the lookout for that. But I also will be having some members only content dropping soon. So, thank you guys so much for being here. Salute to everybody in the chat. I really appreciate you guys. Salute to everybody who also donated to the Cash App and as well to Venmo. I really appreciate that as well. And guys, just happy new year. Happy new year. I hope everybody's getting a great start to their year, to their 2025. And I'm just wishing you all lots of health and wealth in the upcoming year. So thank you all for being here with me tonight. And once again, happy new year and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.